Hey everyone, Tyson the Subaru Specialist from Subaru Prince George here. Today we're taking a look at our 2023 Subaru Forester Wilderness in the autumn green metallic. So it's kind of a brownie green, hides the dirt well, which for this model makes a lot of sense. The Wilderness is the most off-road oriented trim level of Forester they make. Get some exclusive accents, some differences versus the basic Foresters. So big noticeable difference, the front end. Get that nice big blacked out grille. There's a lot of plastic cladding. Essentially the entire front bumper is plastic cladding, and that is because cladding is harder to mark up than paint. So if you're taking it off the beaten path, it's not going to get as beat up. You do also get these 6 LED Gatling gun style fog lights, forward facing, very, very bright. Headlights, just like every other Forester, steering responsive and LEDs. They're amazing at night. You do also get this large black hood decal, decal, sticker, whatever you want to call it. And this is matte black, so this is designed to reduce sun glare for the driver. Typically when you're ascending hills, it makes it easier for the driver to see. You do also get a front view parking / off-road camera, which is handy. Good for parking lots when you're between two larger vehicles and you're trying to get out into traffic. It's almost 180 degrees. I will show you that inside the vehicle, but you can see the vehicle. You can see before you get out into the lane itself. Underneath here, Wilderness comes with front engine skid plate and rear differential skid plate from factory, protect it. And we do have a cover where you can screw in the tow hook if you need to recover someone else. You just pop that off with a flathead screwdriver, a key, something similar to that. So you get more aggressive fenders, fender flares, and this is that same plastic cladding that's on the front bumper. It is textured, looks sharp, and you get Yokohama Geolander AT tires on these exclusive 17-inch matte black wheels. So these are an all-terrain. They have the 3-peak mountain snowflake right there, so they are rated for winter driving. Not as good as a dedicated winter tire, but better than your standard all-season. And these come in a 225/60 R17 size. You probably could fit a slightly larger tire in there, but that's how it comes from factory. You know, ride quality, handling, all of that. More cladding along the bottom. Got the Wilderness badge. So 3 of these on the exterior, 1 on each side, 1 on the rear. The mirror caps, instead of being painted like the Outbacks or smoothed out plastic like the outdoor Crosstreks and Wilderness Outbacks, you get the same textured cladding material, integrated turn signals. Those are actually very handy. I had someone coming at me the other day and their front turn signal was not working. I don't know if it was broken or the bulb was smashed, but they had this integrated into their turn signal. It wasn't in a Subaru, but that's the only reason I could tell they were turning. At the bottom, with the cladding, you get the anodized copper Forester. I really like that accent regardless of the exterior color, and I think it looks really good on the Forester and the Outback. And you get those copper highlights up top here. Now, you cannot use the standard Subaru crossbars because these crossbars are significantly thicker than the standard Forester crossbars. So you can't use the regular Subaru ones. You're supposed to use the Thule extended bars because they can hold more weight, and people are probably going to put heavier things on a Wilderness than they are a standard Forester. At the rear bumper is the same as the standard Forester. You've got your backup sensors in the rear bumper. Those are the little circles. They'll actually apply the brakes in reverse if it thinks you're going to hit something between speeds of 1 and 15 kilometers an hour. That little piece right there pops off. That's the rear recovery point. So just like the front one, it says tow hook. This one's just not as large. All the Wildernesses come with a bumper step pad now. That is a nice improvement. Stops you from marking up the painted area or if you're loading dogs in and out from scratching it. You get the blacked out / grayed out badging. There's the other Wilderness badge. And then this is normally either body color or gloss black. This is that same textured material. I really like it. I think it breaks up the rear of the vehicle. I think it looks good. It is a power lift gate, so button right between these 2 stars, or you can do it from the key fob or the driver's seat. Oh, I guess it would help if it was unlocked. Can't do that. So 1 touch, open. Backup camera's right there. In the back here, LED cargo light. It is set to door. It'll turn on when you open the door, shut off when you close it. Got a hook for hanging things here when the door is open. large amount of space in the back of the Forester, as you would expect with a big boxy rear end like it has. Quite a bit of storage. Privacy cover is standard equipment, hides everything from the top of the seats down. And this can be removed and stored underneath the false floor here. Now this is just the standard Subaru cargo tray. The Wilderness Forester doesn't get an exclusive Wilderness cargo tray like the Outback does, but it still has a bit of a lip to help contain any spills or liquids that may happen. We've got grocery bag hooks on either side, hard physical tie downs, one in every corner to secure awkward cargo. We have a 12-volt power point for any charging. And if you need to fold the seats flat, pull the button, down they go. These little flaps do go down. They're just little spring pieces. Then to close it, we can do it by hand, we can pull down manually, we can close it, we can do it from the driver's seat, do it from the key fob. You can close and lock it when the vehicle's not running. But one click and away you go. In the second row, backs of these seats, they're not the same material as a cargo tray, but it is kind of rubberized, so you don't have to worry about pet hair working its way in. These are essentially protected. You can still get seat back protectors that are made of the cargo tray material, but I wouldn't say they're as necessary as with a standard Forester with the carpeted rears. You just push them up. If you can see red on the toggle, it's not locked in place. There you go. So these seats do recline. You pull out on this tab, and it is a little hard to do one-handed, and you just push on the seat back, and you can see it reclines a bit. And then to make it go back, you just pull on it. But great headroom and legroom in the second row of a Forester. I'm a taller guy, I fit in here comfortably. Headliner in the Wilderness is black as opposed to kind of the tan or lighter color you get with all the other models, trim levels. LED cargo light. Now this seating material isn't cloth, it's not leather, it's Startex. So it's 20% recycled plastic, the rest is synthetic. As you can see, it's non-perforated, but it is textured. The idea is you can get it dirty, just come out and wipe it down after, and you're totally fine. You have some anodized copper highlight stitching. You have your latch system for car seats. And if there's only one or two passengers, fold down armrest with cup holders. On the backs of both front seats, you have 3 pockets, 2 USB ports for charging needs, vents out of the center console, heat up and cool down the second row more effectively. There are still vents underneath the front seats facing backwards, but this actually helps quite a bit. These are exclusive Wilderness floor mats. You get them in the front as well. In the doors, bottle holders. It's that same gray-black kind of two-tone Startex. Wilderness badge, and should you need it, child lock. Up front, you already saw a look at this when I clicked unlock, but there's your window controls, your door switch controls, window lock. Same Wilderness badge. It looks very, very similar. You have a little bit more storage, and you have a bottle holder. Driver's seat is, of course, power with lumbar, and it's that same Startex material. A little bit more bolstering in the front, very, very comfortable seats. Wilderness embossed on both front headrests. And underneath our cardboard mat here, we have the Wilderness badge. So the front ones get the cool logo, the rear ones do not. Something to note, you've got the aluminum pedal covers in the Wilderness Forester. The 23 Wilderness Outbacks do not come with those, but the Onyx does. So that is something that's a little bit different in that regard. On the inside here, by the driver's left knee, we have the ability to open the rear hatch. You can turn off the steering responsive headlights if you don't like them. So I can't think of a situation where they wouldn't be beneficial, but it does take a little bit to get used to, so I can see that happening. You can set it so that the memory tailgate does not open all the way. So situation where that would be beneficial if you're in a low parking garage or parking under a tree and there's a large overhanging branch. You can make it so it doesn't open all the way and contact that. The scroll wheel will control the brightness of the gauges and screens. We've got traction control. We have auto start-stop, which you can deactivate. And then we have blind spot detection and cross traffic alert. So I'm going to turn that off for a second. The reason I'm doing that is so I can show you the blind spot detection. So we've got a little black screen there, and we have a little black screen there. Now, whenever someone's in your blind spot on the corresponding side, it illuminates like so. It doesn't eliminate shoulder checking, but it's a nice aid. You know, you tweak your neck sleeping and you can't quite look as far. But Visibility in a Forester is not really an issue. It's kind of like sitting in a greenhouse. Virtually no blind spots. They're phenomenal for visibility. That's one of the things they're known for. Steering wheel itself looks a little busy initially, but once you understand it, it's really simple. First things first, adjusting it. Place for you to hook your thumb, pull down, and it's tilt and telescopic. You can adjust it however you'd like for drivers of varying arm lengths and leg lengths. Left-hand side of our steering wheel, we have our Bluetooth and audio controls. You can make and take calls, control the volume of the calls and the music. Right-hand side has our adaptive cruise and our lane centering. Both of those use the 2-color stereo eyesight cameras that Subaru uses for all their safety tech right there. This is the latest and greatest eyesight 4.0, so it's more sensitive, better field of view, just better overall. They've dialed it in. But adaptive cruise, you'll get to select the distance behind the vehicle ahead of you that you want to follow in bars because it's a ratio. And lane centering is designed to work above 60k an hour. So not really an in-town thing. Below that, we have our intelligent and sport sharp drive mode. So sport sharp is exclusive to the Wilderness and the Sport Forester. So when you turn it on, it's going to default to intelligent. You can see in the bottom left of the screen, it says P for park. There's an I for intelligent to the right of that. Press the sport sharp. And you can see that line is very aggressive. That's your torque curve, how quickly you're going to accelerate. And with the lower gear ratio of the Wilderness, you take off the line quite quick. With the Wilderness, you do get exclusive gauges, copper surrounds, highlights, it says Wilderness there. It is textured just like the back of the rear seats in the gauges. Don't know if you can see that in the video, but it's quite cool. These arrows here will change our small center display, and it gives you different information depending what you want to look at. Most people like the digital speedometer. Something that quite a few people like. The headlights default to auto. It's spring loaded. You can't accidentally be driving around with your headlights turned to off. So in the fall and in the summer, I see a lot of people forgetting to turn their headlights on. So this is hopefully going to change that. Paddle shifters, downshift and upshift. So if you want to manually select your own gears, you are able to. Our little screen up here, information screen, you can change with the info button on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, and every time you press it, it gives you a different screen to look through. I think there's 8 of them in total, but this one shows what safety tech is on. This is the off-road X mode screen, water temp, oil temp. That's the one that most people like. I personally like it. Climate control displays up there. It ranges from 30 on the high side all the way down to 15. Easy to sync it back up to just driver controlled. You can see where your airflow is being directed. It just changes on the little person there. That's also where our front view camera is. It's almost 180 degrees. It's not the biggest camera, but there are red lines there. Shows you where about as close as you want to get to something. Very handy to have. Great off-road, great in parking lots. 8-inch infotainment. It is touchscreen. We also have physical buttons below here. You have access to Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. These are both wired connections. That's something you should be aware of. It's not wireless like the Legacy and the Outback. Access to the My Subaru app, even from the main screen. That won't work right now because the vehicle's not registered. That needs to be registered and you need to create the account. Media. This is also a backup camera when you put it in reverse. It does show you the top of the back bumper there, so you have something to relate to. Rear assist braking's on, parking sensors are on. And when you turn the wheel, those lines change, show you where you're going to end up if you keep your wheel that way. Now, you can clean the backup camera from inside the vehicle. You don't have to get out. And that just involves twisting this end of the wiper column towards yourself and holding. Now, this is going to be delivered shortly, so I'm not going to do that and cover the back of the vehicle with washer fluid, but it's amazing. I have done a video of that previously on my channel. Check that out if you're curious how that works. Below that, climate controls. We've got driver side temp, passenger side temp, fan strength, mode changes where the airflow is coming from. And then we have our heated mirrors, back window, and area of the windshield where the wipers sit. The windshield wiper de-icer is amazing. Below that, little storage cubby. This is rubberized. The idea is you can put your device there. It should stop it from sliding around. But we've got 2 USBs, listening to music, using Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, charging, aux for music, 12 volt for any charging needs. Shifter with the anodized copper accents. So park, reverse, neutral, drive, manual mode if you want to use your paddles. Behind that, that's the view button for the front camera. We have our heated seats, high and low for the front driver and passenger. Parking brakes are electronic. Pull up to turn it on. And then to turn it off, you push down, but my foot's not on the brake. tells you to put your foot on the brake, then push down. Off it goes. AVH is a brake holder for construction, drive-through, or rush hour traffic. AVH pops up there. I turned it off, turned it back on. If this little icon were to pop up underneath the AVH icon, you can take your foot off the brake and it'll continue to hold the brake. I'm not a huge fan of it just because I'm not used to it. I don't have that in my personal vehicle. X mode. Now, you get dual function X mode with the Wilderness Forester. So twist to the left, you get snow and dirt mode. It automatically goes to that mode. You get downhill descent control. Only works up to 40 kilometers an hour. Twist to the right, you get deep snow and mud. Changes your throttle response, your transmission gearing, allows for excess wheel spin. So you get to play around with it. It takes a very capable vehicle and makes it that much more capable. Got bottle holders, cup holders, media storage in the armrest here. Got decent room, a 12-volt outlet, a place to run a charging cord so you don't crush it. My favorite feature ever in any vehicle, auto-dimming rearview mirror. There's no switch to flick if someone's got their brights on behind you. It just automatically dims. Greatest thing ever. You can also hook up to 3 separate garage doors to the HomeLink system there, so you don't have to carry an opener with you. You've got a built-in compass. And up top here, you've got LED map lights, lane sway assist, and automatic emergency braking. So this will beep at you if you start changing lanes without signaling or crossing lines. You can turn both of these off just by pressing and holding. It's about 3 seconds. It beeps, bottom left shows off. Do that again, turn it back on. Automatic emergency braking. I can't think of a situation where you'd want to turn it off. It does actually save you 10% on your basic insurance here in BC, so I don't know about that anywhere else. Door light, so when you open a door, the lights come on. And then we have SOS and roadside assistance. You'll get a little green light once you're subscribed to the connected services, letting you know that it's active, but SOS is for exactly that, emergencies. Blue's for roadside. Sunglass storage. And then the sunroof in the Forester is a manual shade, but if you drag the glass back, it'll drag that. And important to note, this is only a sliding sunroof. It is not a rear tilt. It does not tilt. Couldn't tell you why. Sure, it has something to do with structural integrity or something like that, or could create too much wind noise with the way it does that, or they didn't have room for that motor function in there. You'd have to ask Subaru about that themselves. Those are kind of my quick thoughts on it. On the visors, you've got card holders, and got vanity mirror with light. Now, there's also this piece right here. This is just an extender. So if you have to pull this over to block the sun, you can extend it because this is a decent amount of room for the sun to still slip through. Depends how far back you sit. And grab handles for all 4 passengers, which is quite nice. I really appreciate that. I use those when I'm in the passenger all the time, just holding on. So that is a quick look at the 2023 Subaru Forester Wilderness in the autumn green metallic. I am going to let you guys take a peek under the hood here. So unlike the other Subarus, this splits in the middle. It's not at the top. And essentially, just like every other one, I go from the right side, move it to the left. Don't know if you can actually see the lever or not. It's right there, and lift. And pretty much everything under the hood in yellow is what the average consumer is going to touch. Brake fluid, washer fluid, oil, filter still up top on this, coolant, dipstick, and then your air filters there. And this is not a turbocharged motor. This is a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated boxer engine producing 182 horsepower. So it's not a rocket ship by any means, but it's plenty capable. So thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions about this vehicle, any of the vehicles in our lineup, any of the tech, or anything that I showed in the video that you may have questions about or want further explanation, please let me know in the comments below. More than happy to answer any questions you guys may have. Thanks for watching. We'll talk soon.